This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. Chargers and the Patriots here. This one's in Foxborough. Sunday Night Football. Dalton, let's talk about the Patriots passing game and Drake May, the MVP candidate, how he has played this year as a major breakout superstar. What are you expecting from him here in this game against the Chargers?
He's certainly played like an MVP candidate. He's been attacking downfield all season, no matter who he's been playing against. And now you got a really interesting battle between Drake May, who wants to attack down the field. He's been one of the best deep passers in football this year, against Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter and all of the zone coverage that he throws at you, right? The Chargers are as good as any team in football. It's not impossible. We saw C.J. Stroud do it a couple of times a few weeks ago, but they're as good as any team in football at preventing those deep shots down the field because they run the third highest rate of zone coverage in the NFL. That group of safeties back there, they're really good. When you talk about Derwin James and Tony Jefferson, R.J. Mickens when he's healthy, Elijah Molden, they just do such a great job of rotating, confusing quarterbacks, and keeping things in front of them the vast majority of the time. But Drake May against zone coverage this year has been absolutely elite, okay? 91.1 passing grade. Second in the NFL behind who? The guy he's fighting for the MVP with, Matthew Stafford. 74.9% completion rate. Best in the league. 9 yards per attempt. Best in the league. And 18 big-time throws. 7th most in the NFL. So he's not just dinking and dunking his way around the chains. He's attacking zone coverage downfield. A lot like I talked about in an earlier preview with Trevor Lawrence, not afraid to do it, the ability to make every throw on the field, and I'm just curious to see this matchup with May and Minter. How often can Drake May take shots downfield? Or we've seen in a couple of games, I think about the second Buffalo game, they played a lot of too high. They were able to keep things in front of him and really slow Drake May down in the second half of that game. Which side of those two things is going to win? The elite passing of Drake May against zone coverage, or Jesse Minter and his ability to cover downfield and keep things in front of him?
Man, there's been so much talk, understandably so. You laid it out there of why everybody talks about the Patriots passing game and what Josh McDaniels is doing with Drake May and how much fun it's been to watch. Very quietly, over the last month, Dalton, this is the best rushing team in the NFL. 91.0 team rushing grade from the Patriots over the last 4 games. That is best in the league. Ramondre Stevenson has a 92.9 rushing grade during that time. Travion Henderson, right below an 80. I believe it was about a 77.5 for the rushing grade that he had. Drake May getting involved in the run game as well, just over 80, about an 82.5 rushing grade during that period of time. They have an elite rushing grade in those man and gap scheme run blocking concepts between the tackles, pullers, just duo, whatever that was, just between the tackles, running downhill, those power running concepts. Now the Chargers, 75.1 run defense grade over the last month. Some of their guys on the interior are defending the run pretty well. The guys on the edges are defending it pretty well as well. But my X factor here in this game is actually their safety / honestly Swiss Army knife do-it-all defensive player in Derwin James, because James has the second highest run defense grade of any player on their team. He also has the second most run defense snaps of any player on their team. And when you think about Derwin James, I think a lot of people think of just like the athleticism, right? How great he could be in coverage, especially for a player his size, how fluid he is, how explosive he is. What I'm super impressed about with him is how he takes on pullers. Now, it's a little bit different because the Patriots, when they're running power, it's not like a pull lead play where they're getting their guys all the way out beyond the tackles to the sideline, to the numbers, and that stuff. But I think that he could be a factor for them in between the tackles as well. With how good he is at taking on pullers, even when they're offensive linemen, I think they're going to try to get him to play a lot more at the true second level with the linebackers to really just focus on, hey, if there is a pulling offensive lineman, a pulling guard, a pulling center, a pulling tackle, whatever it is, like the Patriots like to run, neutralize that player. take him head on and let somebody else clean it up. And he has just been so good at doing the dirty work and doing that over the last, I think, second half of the season. Maybe it's just the whole season in general was the scope that I was looking at. But as of late, he's been excellent at it. And I just think that has been an area that the Patriots have really leaned on and had a ton of success. And I think Derwin could be an underrated neutralizer in the run game and the run defense part of it. Because if you don't stop the run, well, boy, you're going to have a bad day at the office because the Patriots are going to be able to put 30 plus up on you. So I think that much like, who are we talking about this for? What was it? The Bills? No. The Bears, where it's like, hey, you have to stop the run game first, or Ben Johnson's just going to keep doing it. For the Patriots, I think it's the same way. If you don't stop the run, you don't even really have to worry about Drake May that much. I mean, they're just going to continue to run the football, and they're going to continue to run it well like they have over the last month. But I think Derwin James is the X factor there. What about the Chargers and their run game here in this one?
I think you get such a big split. I've talked about this before. Obviously, the struggles of this Chargers offensive line with so many injuries and ineffectiveness and things like that. The big split with the Chargers in their run game is whether they can get outside or not. Okay, they are not going to be able to run between the tackles on this New England team, especially with as good as New England is at defending the run between the tackles. Right, they're very good when runs are boxed in. They're really good. They're really good tacklers. If Robert Spillane is healthy enough to play in this game, huge factor. I don't think the Chargers will win on the inside, but when they do get off tackle with Amarian Hampton, with Kamani Vidal, they're a lot more effective, right? They put a lot of tight ends out there. They put Scott Matlock, the big 300-pound fullback out there, and they try to leverage you. They try to leverage you with these power schemes to get outside. So when the Chargers get off tackle, 4.6 yards per carry is 10th best in the NFL. 12.7% explosive run rate is 8th. So they're still, even despite their offensive line issues, a top 10 team when running to the outside. This is where New England has struggled more this year against off-tackle runs. They're 17th in yards per carry allowed. They're 19th in explosive run rate allowed. I think a big reason for this, and this is going to be crucial if Harold Landry's not in there off the edge, if Robert Spillane's not there at linebacker, the second level, that linebacker level for New England, I like some of those players. Spillane, Jelani Tavai, another one. They're not very fast. They don't move laterally very well. It's really a group of downhill linebackers, right? Jack Gibbons is in that mix too. It's a group of downhill linebackers that's very comfortable from C-gap to C-gap, right, within the box. But if you can get to the sideline, and I think Amarian Hampton and his speed, now that he's healthy on the outside, is going to be a big factor for the Chargers and their success in this run game. If they can break contain and leverage this defensive line and find their way out towards the numbers in the run game, I actually do think the Patriots could have a real problem, because the second half of the season, their run defense has not been that good, and it's because they can't defend on the outside at the second level. They just don't have the speed at linebacker to run laterally like that. That's what the Chargers are going to want to do again in this game. Get to the outside and then work the play action off of it with Justin Herbert in the vertical passing game.
When it comes to the Chargers passing game, it's the obvious. Like, I would love to talk about the weapons that Justin Herbert has the ability to throw to, how well he has played this season despite unideal circumstances, but it's those unideal circumstances that really are the major point of what this game's going to be. Throughout the second half of this season, the Los Angeles Chargers are dead last in the NFL in PFF pass blocking grade, which is a 53.4 overall grade. And when you look at Justin Herbert this season, he goes from being a really good passer when he is kept clean to a 40.3 overall passing grade when he is not. And I think the reason why is because that grade tanks a lot, because a lot of times when he's getting pressured, he's not just getting pressured from one area or one offensive lineman's missing an assignment. It's multiple guys. It's multiple players getting in the backfield, and that's really hampering his ability to play well under pressure at all whatsoever. I've got faith in Mike Vrabel and what he's able to cook up on that defensive side of the ball to really confuse that Chargers offensive line and make them struggle the way that they have unfortunately struggled throughout the second half of the season. And so where I like the passing weapons, and I think that Justin Herbert has been one of the more underrated players in the NFL this season because of how much he has been under pressure and duress, and he has still been able to just play really well and get them into a position where it's kind of crazy given how bad the offensive line has been in Los Angeles, how they're even still a playoff team. And I think that goes, I think a lot goes into that, but Justin Herbert is actually one of the reasons why I can't pick them in this game. I cannot, if I'm going to sit here and, like a lot of people say, that the game is first won and lost in the trenches, I can't pick the team that not only struggles in the trenches, is dead last in the trenches, in the area that matters most, especially for keeping up with a very potent offense like the New England Patriots have. I'm going to go Patriots 27, Chargers 17 here for this one.
You may not be able to do it, Trevor, but I can.
You're going to take the Chargers.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know necessarily what's putting me over the edge with this. I think this is going to be a great football game. I think the Chargers defense and Jesse Minter in that unit are really going to show up. I think it does come down. It will come down to the trench play, but also I don't think this is the worst matchup the Chargers could have when it comes to having to deal with that offensive line. And honestly, I get to a certain point where when I watch Justin Herbert, I'm just like, man, he's dealt with it all season, and he's found a way to do it. He's found a way to take off running the football. He's been one of the best running quarterbacks in the league this year. And I just think some of the Patriots' weaknesses on defense, they've been showing the cracks the second half of the year. If the Chargers are able to have balance and get to the outside, I think Amarion Hampton is actually the most important player in this game. If he can get to the outside and rip off some explosive runs and really stress the Patriots laterally, I think it's a big problem. And then I think the Chargers' goal on defense is exactly what New England does not want, right? They put a lid on it. Their secondary is outstanding. I'm with you. New England's going to have to run the ball to win this game. I think if they're put in a situation where Drake May is just going to have to drop back and throw the football into the teeth of the secondary, that's where the upset might start to happen there. You saw it against Buffalo in the second game, late in the game. You saw it for a while against Baltimore, and then Baltimore just has no pass rush to speak of, so May had enough time to throw through it. Maybe those experiences get him through it. I might be dead wrong in this. I mean, their Chargers are underdogs for a reason. They're taking the longest trip you possibly could out to New England. I'm going to take the Chargers 23-20. I think Herbert gets it done. I think their defense gets it done. Set up round 3 with the Denver Broncos in Denver.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok rules sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.